Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into something a lot of pet parents can relate to. Pet anxiety.
Absolutely. It's one of those topics that comes up all the time, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And we've gotten tons of questions from you guys about natural ways to help anxious pets. So I've been digging into this article, Natural Remedies for Pet Anxiety. Keep your pet calm and happy. It's a great resource.
It really is.
Yeah, it's packed with all sorts of helpful tips. So let's jump right in. Have you ever, seen your dog, totally freak out during a thunderstorm?
Oh, yeah. Or hiding when the fireworks start.
Yeah,
Classic.
totally.
Oh.
But here's the thing. The article makes this really interesting point. Anxiety in pets, it's not always a simple fear response, right?
Yeah.
There's more to it.
So true. It's way more complex than that.
Right.
Yeah, it can come from, their genes, their past experiences, even their environment plays a role.
That's fascinating. So it's like a puzzle, almost, trying to figure out all the pieces that contribute to their anxiety. So what are some of the common triggers the article mentions? What kind of things set our pets off?
Well, loud noises are a big one. We were saying, fireworks, thunderstorms, even things like construction or the vacuum cleaner can be super stressful for some pets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, and of course, separation anxiety is huge, especially for dogs. They're like our shadows sometimes.
Right, they get so attached. And I bet, changes in their routine can also throw them off, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Anything that disrupts their sense of security, you know, predictability. New environments, too. Think about it. Moving, traveling, even just rearranging the furniture.
It's all new and strange to them.
Oh.
Okay, so we got to be like pet detectives, basically, and look for anything that might be messing with their little world. But how can we even tell if our pet is actually anxious? Sometimes it's hard to know if they're just being a little weird or if something's really bothering them.
Right. It's all about recognizing the signs.
Yeah.
And some of them can be pretty subtle. Yeah. The article talks about things like pacing, just constant back and forth, or panting a lot, even when they haven't been exercising, trembling, hiding more than usual. These are all things that, we might not even notice if we're not paying attention.
Oh, wow. So those are the subtle clues.
Yeah.
What about the more obvious signs? The ones we definitely shouldn't ignore.
Right. So if you're seeing destructive behavior, chewing on things they shouldn't, scratching, or excessive barking or meowing, changes in their eating or sleeping habits, suddenly they're not eating as much or they're sleeping all the time, that's when it's time to get concerned. And the article really stresses the importance of talking to your vet or a pet behaviorist if you see these signs.
Yeah, that's important. They can really help figure out what's going on. Okay, so we've talked about the triggers and the signs. Now let's get to the good stuff. How can we actually help our pets feel calmer, naturally? The article goes into all these different methods: calming music, pheromone diffusers, even herbal supplements. I've got to admit, the idea of using music to soothe an anxious pet, it's really interesting to me. Is there actually any science behind that?
There is. It's pretty cool, actually. Studies have shown that certain types of music, like classical or ambient music with slower tempos, can actually have a really calming effect on animals.
Huh. So it's kind of like how certain music makes us feel relaxed,
Exactly. It's about creating that same kind of soothing environment for them.
That's so neat. So the article suggests playing calming music regularly, especially during those times when your pet might be feeling extra anxious, like thunderstorms, or when you had to leave them alone.
Exactly. And then there are pheromone diffusers. You know how puppies love to snuggle up to their moms? Well, it's because of those comforting scents they release. Pheromone diffusers basically mimic those natural calming scents.
So it's like giving them that sense of security and comfort even when you're not there.
Exactly. For dogs, there's DAP, which replicates that scent that mother dogs use to calm their puppies. And for cats, there's Feliway, which mimics their facial pheromones.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. But what about, for those of us who prefer a more, herbal approach? The article mentions quite a few herbs that can help calm pets naturally.
Oh, absolutely. Like chamomile, for instance. Super popular for its calming effects in humans.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out it can work wonders for our furry friends, too. It may, interact with certain receptors in the brain that promote relaxation.
That's cool. So chamomile. What are some other herbs the article suggests?
Let's see. There's valerian root, which has been used for ages as a natural sleep aid and anxiety reliever. Lavender, most people associate that with relaxation and sleep.
Right.
Lemon balm, it's believed to have mood-boosting properties. And then there's passion flower, which is known for its calming and sleep-promoting effects.
It's like a whole garden of natural remedies.
All right.
But, I have to ask, are there any risks involved with giving herbs to our pets? Like, with human natural remedies, we always hear those talk to your doctor disclaimers.
You are so right. It is absolutely crucial to consult with your vet before giving your pet any herbal supplements.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Just like human medications, certain herbs can interact with other meds your pet might be taking. And some pets might just be sensitive to certain herbs, so always check with your vet first.
Got it. Don't want to accidentally make things worse.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered calming music, pheromone diffusers, and herbal supplements. What other natural ways can we help our anxious pets chill out a bit?
Well, remember we were talking about those yummy calming treats earlier?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of pet food companies now make treats that are specifically designed to help with anxiety. They often have things like, the herb, as we were just talking about. So it's a super easy way to add those calming ingredients to their diet.
That's a great idea, like sneaking in the good stuff.
Mm.
But I'm always a little, wary of anything processed when it comes to my pet's food. What should we look for when we're choosing calming treats?
That's a good point. Definitely look for treats that are made with natural ingredients. Avoid anything with artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. And like with any treat, moderation is key.
Got it. Natural ingredients and not too many treats.
Exactly.
Okay, so far, it seems like we've mostly been talking about managing the symptoms of anxiety. Is there anything we can do to, address the root of the problem?
You're absolutely right. It's not just about masking the anxiety. It's about helping them, learn to cope with it. And that's where behavioral strategies come in. The article emphasizes the importance of creating a safe space for your pet.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yeah. It could be their crate, their bed, even just like a designated corner in a quiet room. It's a place where they can retreat when they're feeling overwhelmed.
It's like their own little anxiety-free zone.
Exactly. But what about those unavoidable triggers like thunderstorms or fireworks? Even with a safe space, those can be tough to escape.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what do we do in those situations?
Well, that's where managing those triggers comes in. If, for example, that loud noises are a problem, you can try things like using a white noise machine or playing that calming music we talked about earlier to kind of drown out the sound. Or if your pet's anxious around strangers, you can gradually and safely introduce them to new people in a controlled environment. The key is to figure out what sets their anxiety off and then find ways to minimize the impact of those triggers.
It's about being proactive, basically. And the article also talks of these other techniques, counter-conditioning and desensitization. Can you explain those a little bit?
Sure. So counter-conditioning is all about changing their emotional response to the trigger. So let's say, for example, your dog gets anxious during car rides. With counter-conditioning, you'd start pairing those car rides with something really positive, like their absolute favorite treats or a fun game. The idea is to help them associate the car with good things instead of fear.
Oh, I see. So instead of dreading the car, they start looking forward to it because it means treats and fun.
Exactly.
That's so clever.
And then there's desensitization, which is kind of like counter-conditioning, but it focuses on gradual exposure to the trigger. So let's say your dog is terrified of the vacuum cleaner. You might start by just, showing them the vacuum from a distance while giving them treats and praise. And then as they get more comfortable, you can slowly move it closer, maybe turn it on for a few seconds, and so on. It's all about gradually increasing their tolerance to the thing that scares them.
It's like baby steps for anxiety relief.
I love it. This is also helpful. It seems like there's so much we can do to help our pets feel more relaxed and secure. And it all starts with, really understanding what makes them tick, what stresses them out.
Absolutely. By being really attentive to their behavior, we can identify anxieties early on and address them in a way that's, natural and supportive.
It's awesome though, right? Like all these natural approaches, they work with your pet's natural instincts,
Yeah.
Not against them.
I totally agree. It's not like a one-size-fits-all thing, which is why this whole deep dive is so cool. It gives you options.
It does. So, okay, I have to ask, what if we try all these natural remedies and, they're just not cutting it? What if my pet's anxiety is more serious? The article talks about this a bit, right?
It does, and it's super important. Natural remedies, they're great, but they're not like miracle cures.
Right.
If your pet's anxiety is really severe, or if it's, impacting their quality of life, you got to seek professional help.
Talk to your vet. Or a certified animal behaviorist. They can really assess the situation and see if you need like additional interventions, like medication or more intensive behavioral therapy.
Yeah, makes sense. Sometimes you just need a little extra help.
Yeah.
So let's recap what we've learned today. We talked about common anxiety triggers, how to recognize the signs, and like a whole bunch of natural remedies you can try. Calming music, pheromone diffusers, herbal supplements, those calming treats, behavioral strategies. That's a lot. What would you say is like the most important takeaway from all this?
I think the biggest thing is understanding the why. Like, why is your pet anxious? Once you get that, you understand those triggers, then you can start addressing them.
I like that. It's like having a roadmap, right?
Exactly. A roadmap to help you find the best solutions.
I love that. And it's important to remember with any of these methods, patience and consistency are key.
Okay.
Our pets, they need time to learn new coping mechanisms and to adjust to changes, just like us.
Exactly. And that's why consistency is so important, whether it's, playing calming music every day, using that diffuser, or working on those behavioral strategies, doing it consistently. It helps your pet feel more secure, more confident.
That safe space idea, I really love that. Creating that little anxiety-free zone for them.
Oh, yeah. It's like a reset button for their anxiety, a place where they can just chill, calm down, regroup without feeling trapped.
And it doesn't have to be anything fancy, like a cozy bed tucked away, a crate with a blanket over it, anything that feels enclosed and secure.
I've even heard of people putting like an old t-shirt that smells like them in their pet's safe space. That familiar scent, it can really add to that feeling of comfort.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is. It's all about creating that environment where they feel safe, secure, and loved. And sometimes showing that love means, knowing when to ask for help. So if you're worried about your pet's anxiety, talk to your vet or a certified animal behaviorist.
Yeah, they can help you find the best solutions for your furry friend. Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive on natural remedies for pet anxiety, what's like one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
I'd say just remember, you know your pet best. You spend the most time with them. You see their behavior. You know their personality. So trust your gut. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things till you find what works for your buddy.
That's so true. We know our pets best, don't we? We see all their little quirks and habits and things. I mean, they can't exactly tell us what's wrong, can they?
Yeah.
But they definitely talk to us through their behavior.
Absolutely. That brings up a good point. What if part of the solution is getting even better at understanding all those little signals our pets are sending us?
Oh, I like that. Like becoming a pet whisperer.
Exactly. Think about it. Their body language, their vocalizations, their energy levels, all those little things can tell us so much.
You could give me an example.
Sure. Let's say your dog, every time the doorbell rings, they bolt under the bed. That's a pretty clear sign they're not a fan of visitors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or maybe your cat, starts grooming like crazy when you're packing for a trip. That could be stress, about you leaving.
Wow. It's amazing how much we miss if we're not really paying attention.
Right. It's like they're talking to us, but we're not listening.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on natural remedies for pet anxiety, I want to leave everyone with a little challenge. Okay.
I like it.
Over the next week, really tune in to your pet's behavior. Pay attention to, what seems to trigger their anxiety, what helps them calm down, all those little signs. The things that give away their emotional state.
That's such a good idea. And as you start to notice those patterns, think back to everything we talked about today.
Yeah.
Like which remedies might be the best fit for your pet?
Right.
What kind of safe space can you make for them? How can you, manage those triggers and help them learn to cope better?
It's about empowering ourselves to be the best pet parents we can be.
Exactly. And remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs, good days, not so good days. But what matters is that we're there for our furry friends, supporting them, helping them live their best, most anxiety-free lives. We have all these tools now.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for joining us today on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure. And we'll be back next time with another exciting topic.
Thank you to all our loyal Pet Wise Guide channel followers for watching our latest video. Your support encourages us to create valuable content for you and your beloved pets. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. We'll be happy to respond. For those who haven't subscribed, join us to stay updated on our latest videos, specially made for all pet owners. Plus, don't forget to visit our website. petwiseguide.site to explore more informative articles crafted by specialists in pet behavior and veterinarians.